Povetkin test last week. Obviously, Povetkin's failed twice in the past. Eddie reckons you might have been tested 12 times for this camp.
I was tested this morning.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And Povetkin maybe 6 times during this camp.
Yeah. At least he's being tested anyway.
How important is that? Because people have had, worse to say about Povetkin fighting in a fight of this magnitude, having failed 2 tests.
Do you know what? As I said, my opinion is, if you're on drugs, you get banned. Simple as that. Yeah. And then number 2, it's not for me to make that decision. Now, I'm not part of the committee, but I just do believe in a fair fight. Do you know what I mean? It's not like if it's golf or something. I'm just trying to improve my swing. I'm going in there to enhance my performance so I can knock you out, and it basically damages my opponent's health if that was me. So I think that there should be more severe precautions. But I've always been in the business in boxing as focusing on myself, not worrying about what the committees are doing or the judges or the referees are doing. Do you know what I mean? So that's my opinion. They should be a bit more severely dealt with.
Do you think he deserves this fight, Anthony?
Yeah, he's a mandatory challenger for whatever reason. So, that's the guy I have to fight, isn't it?
But despite the fact that he's failed 2 drugs tests, if he does win on Saturday, he takes your belts.
Yeah, that's the game. That's the name of the game, unfortunately. That's what I say, is that my job in this issue is to show the non-drug cheat is a stronger and better fighter. That's what I have to do, and that's why I have to fight. But if they were so, concerned about drug cheats, then he wouldn't be in a position to fight me Saturday night. But obviously the powers that be have let it happen, and he seems to be my mandatory, and I just have to deal with that.
And you're confident in the vetting process that he is 100% clean come Saturday night?
Well, we pay for an independent drug agency to do random drug tests, which costs basically me money. So we invest in an independent drug agency who's independent of UK, independent of Russia. They're an independent company, and we have to sign up. They will randomly drug test him, randomly drug test me, and I think that's the best way to deal with it, rather than leaving it to the country's drug testing organisations. You pay for an independent party that would do it due diligently and hopefully find out if a fight is clean or not.
Thanks, lads. We're going to move there.
Thank you, brother. It's crazy, right? But you've got to give him his respect, because he's been on top of his game since that time, so he's done well to stay there. And he's here now. He's been through a lot of his issues and trials and tribulations, stayed relevant. So it shows that he's a tough man mentally.
Do you remember making a priority of watching that fight that weekend?
No, I didn't watch that fight. I actually didn't watch that fight, to be honest with you. But I've watched it, obviously, during training camp, but I didn't watch it at the time.
Presumably you would have been aware of it taking place, though. Do you remember thinking that's a level I need to aspire to get to?
I remember watching, when I went to the Klitschko camp, I remember watching, Klitschko and Pulev. I was more interested in the Klitschko situation, do you know what I mean, at the time. So that was kind of my pedestal where I wanted to get to.
Your last 3 opponents, Klitschko's retired, Takan hasn't looked as good, Barber hasn't looked as good. You seem to be developing a reputation as something that actually ruins careers. Can you see that from your perspective?
It does happen. It's a tough game, It's not only the training camps, it's actual fight, 11, 10 rounds of punishment. It does take a lot out of you. And obviously I've not been out there knocking people out like I used to, but I just think we're at a different end of the top tier fighters, at the top end. I'm not fighting like number 150 in the world and trying to look good and say, yeah, I'm fighting the best of the best, and they're tougher. But ultimately they're against someone just as tough, and it does take a lot out of you. So you could potentially say it does take something out of you, these tough fights.
One more, mate. Finally, you said in there about feeling under tons of pressure. I'm sure you always actually feel like that, but you don't usually say that. Has your attitude towards things changed?
I'm always just honest. Do you know what I mean? Some people are just straight up man, I ain't worried about nothing. I'm straight up. Yeah, this is a hell of a lot of pressure that we're dealing with. This is combat sport. One winner, one loser, and you can lose, but you can lose in a way that it's embarrassing. In a world where it's so perfect and pretty, the last thing I want to be doing in there is getting my head punched in for 12 rounds and everyone's saying, you're shit, you're shit, you're shit. It's just the world we live in. So yeah, there's a whole heap of pressure that comes with what we're doing right now, because it's a world that is pretty and perfect, but this boxing game, you've got to get knocked down 8 times and stand up 9. It's not pretty, this game. It's very difficult.
Thanks very much.